I'm Gab. He's Jules. Grey skies over West London, but that's okay because we're here to brighten up your day. Jules, we have a Premier League title race on our hand, a proper one. 3 teams and 3 points.
Yeah, it's the same last week.
Okay, but I wasn't here last Monday, so
it's like,
I got to point it out now.
That's true.
And we're gonna get to that, but we're gonna start somewhere else. As by the way, Xabi Alonso getting a win, staving off the people with the knives. Plenty going on. Bayern dropping points. How about that? New league leaders in Serie A. But we have to start with Mohamed Salah's farewell, whether temporary or permanent. Liverpool were playing Brighton. And let's not forget, while the Salah thing overshadowed everything, this is still a Liverpool team who are not doing well. They're not playing well. And they don't just have issues with Salah and up front, they have issues at the back, arguably at the full-back positions and so on. I wasn't surprised that he didn't start.
No, that was expected.
I was surprised that he came off on after 26 minutes when Joe Gomez, who started at right back.
Yeah, that's the...
That surprised you. Should we read anything?
No, it's just the injury. But
it's totally normal.
Slot has to make him the first sub. Otherwise, he would have created even more chaos, problems, tensions. So whenever that first sub was, this was so early because of the injury. Otherwise, that would have never happened. He didn't make it because there was no injuries. He made it because Joe Gomez was injured. So it was easy with Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones already on the pitch to bring on Salah. But he had to bring on Salah. There was no doubt.
See, I didn't read it that way. I have a completely different reading from you. As we do on most things, Salah. I actually thought if you bring him on this early, you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to put this down. So he had a talk with Salah, right? Yeah. Finally, right? Supposedly they weren't talking, whatever. Salah was dropped for the midweek game. It was a club decision. I think it was inevitable given what came before that. But sending him on after 26 minutes, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. It could mean that you have to take him off later on if things don't go according to plan. You're only 1-0 up. It was an ideal. There's no Bradley. There's no Frimpong, but you did have other options. You could have brought in, dare I say, Federico Chiesa on the right and moved Szoboszlai. You could have brought on Andy Robertson to play right back. Not his flank, but he can do a job. He's done a job at center back. You could have moved Curtis Jones and maybe brought somebody else in. You did have other things. I thought it was a big call. And between the fact that Slot said he wants him to stay, between the fact that Van Dijk would later say he wanted him to stay, between the fact that they had a chat, I don't know. I'm wondering if the percent chance that he plays for Liverpool again has just increased.
Yeah, maybe. I thought Slot was very good in his pre-match and post-match press conference. Again, for the whole piece, like bring him on the first serve was also to buy that kind of piece. Not give more legs to the story, not inferior to anybody. He knew the reception would be great for Salah, and it was, and it deservedly as well, from that home crowd. And then it was a game where you also know it would be open, so you know that Salah wanted to play. He was going to play with a lot of energy and a lot of things to prove before going to AFCON. So it made a lot of sense. I think nobody knows what's going to happen in a month's time or 6 weeks' time, whether he stays or not. But I think in terms of, in a way, resolving this whole issue, Saturday was just the perfect way of doing it for now.
I'm coming around to the idea that in the end he's going to stay. And part of the reason, I can't put percentages on it, but a big part of the reason is nobody likes being wrong. If he doesn't stay, it's going to mean that he signed a new contract on April 11th. It's going to mean that they were wrong in extending the contract, and certainly 6 months at a huge wage. It's going to mean that Slot was wrong in thinking he was making it work. It was going to mean Salah was wrong in thinking he should stay, and it's going to mean that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards were wrong too in believing it would work. I think there are ways to resolve this, and then there's the other aspect of, if he was so keen on Saudi, why not move in the summer and there not be a transfer fee involved? So all these things coming together, the situation's evolving. There was a football match played as well.
Yeah.
Liverpool won. Ugo Ekitike, I thought, looked sharp.
Yeah.
Brighton, I thought, probably could have gotten something out of this game.
Yeah.
And those defensive issues, I think, are still there. All right, Jules, let's turn away from Salah for a minute. Well, actually, no. Let's stick with Salah for a second because this scoreline could have been bigger. And Salah was involved in some of the. Obviously, he had the assist to the goal, which I love how all of a sudden, because there's so many numbers nerds out there, we discover these new categories. And what was this? The Premier League record for goal involvements with one club.
Yeah.
Where he got the assist, so he moved ahead of Wayne Rooney.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Erling Haaland's going to own all these records if he doesn't leave Manchester City.
Surely, yeah.
But yeah, had you heard of this before today?
Yeah, it's like a lot of people like goal involvement per minute.
I know goal involvements,
That's
but
what it is.
goal involvements with one club.
Well, yeah, as in, like, you look at it, it's pretty good to do. If you do for the same club, 266, I think he's on or something like that. It's pretty, that shows the longevity, how good you've done for that club. I had like no issues with that.
Okay, yeah. I think it's total fugazi nonsense, but we know he's been good for a long time with Liverpool. He had that chance at the end where he kind of snatched it, put it over. He had that other counter where the poor guy, like, I don't think he was expecting to see Virgil van Dijk. Like, next
Van Dijk and Robertson as well, of all people.
People forget that when Virgil van Dijk has those big, long, powerful legs, that once he gets moving, he can really, really motor up the pitch. Did you see anything in his performance other than a desire to do well?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the question is what we've said all along, is this team better without him than with him? Because the thing is, he wants to start every game. That's what he said to Slot. So if Slot says to him, listen, I can't guarantee you a starting start, that's when I think he start thinking about moving and go to a club where he will start every game. You might not be happy with Saudi, MLS, I don't know, whatever. But if Slot says to him, you've been on the bench the last 5 games in a row on the bench now. There's no
4 plus 1, because he wasn't there in Milan.
Yeah. So, but sorry, 4 on the bench plus 1 missing. So 5 games in a row where there was no Salah in the starting lineup. Why would that change now? They've done pretty well in those 5 games without him. So this is the whole thing. He was sharp. Of course, he was sharp. He wanted to show on field the family was there, all of that. It might be his last game. You want to do well. 100% you play against a team that is a good team, but a very open team. I think Brighton have kept 1 clean sheet in the whole season so far in the Premier League. So this is what they do. They give you a lot of space, a lot of time. They were probably better than Liverpool on Saturday. But overall, they're a team that just let you have chances. So that was good for him. Then play, let's say, against a 5-4-1, like a super defensive team. So that suited him. But I go back to the same point. Is this Liverpool team better without him than they are with him? And if that's the case, and I think, again, the last 5 games, to me, I love Mo Salah, but he's 33. He's not the future. If this team looks better or is better without him, then he's going to be benched again. And if he doesn't want to be benched, he has to leave. Otherwise, he's going to be on the bench and he's not going to be happy because he's going to be on the bench 2 games in a row and he's going to do the same thing that he did, stop in the mix zone, and we'll have this whole circus again. That's the thing. So, yeah, it looked good. Of course, it looked good.
I just wonder if the setup that we saw from Liverpool in Milan, that, it's not just about him. It's about Wirtz, Kirk, all these guys, right? How do you make it work? Florian Wirtz played on the left. There was no Cody Gakpo. At his moments, again, you're not getting the best of Florian Wirtz, not yet. Yeah. But I just wonder, could that diamond with the 2 strikers, could that be? I mean, we need 2 things. A, could that diamond with the 2 strikers be a way forward? B, if you let Salah go, your other center forward options are Ekitike, who's did very well in this game. Certainly, arguably, he's done better than any newcomer to Anfield this season, but it's still one guy. Isak, who's having an absolute nightmare and looks like a longer-term project. If you think that diamond allows you to play not the way they played in Milan, but with Wirtz at the top of the diamond, if then you can have 2 forwards, and obviously if you're going to play 1+2 up front, they need to move differently. They can't just stand next to each other, but they're going to go wide and whatever, and go short and long, all this stuff. Then you've need probably 4 forwards to do it, especially when one is off form, as he said.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that might not be a way in. And what I like about that diamond is you can have Szoboszlai at the top of the diamond, or you can have Wirtz at the top of the diamond. You can have your 2 strikers. You have a role for Salah. It's not going to be every game, but it's going to be a role where his lack of defending is less of an issue.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if this isn't Slot's plan B or plan C in case Salah ends up staying.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure you can play in the front 2 personally. I don't
he's
think
done
he
it
would
before,
like it.
when he
I
was
don't think-
younger.
yeah, but I don't think he'd like it now. I think it's a very different style for him. I think Slot loves the 4 midfielders, whoever they are, between Jones, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Wirtz. But I think he will also be very pragmatic in his tactical approach to games, front 2, the 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1. I think they have that much talent that they can play in so many different ways depending on the opposition or who is fit or who is in form, all of that. But I think more and more those 4 midfielders are the key to balance, key to control, and I'm just not sure if Salah fits in that kind of model. So this is it. But again, I think if he's ready to be on the bench sometimes because he doesn't fit the tactics or the game plan for that game, no problem. But I don't think he would be happy with that.
4 midfielders also means that if one of them is Szoboszlai, he's not playing right back, which then means you have to get a tune out of Bradley and Frimpong when he returns.
Yeah.
And obviously left back, Robertson and Kirkes very much up and down. I thought Kirkes was certainly defensively, he's limited right now.
Yeah.
Although weirdly, that's not even the biggest problem in Liverpool's defense, and we have to touch upon it. I thought Konate again. I don't know what's going on with him, if it's mental or whatever.
Yeah. I just thought.
Do you have any insight in Konate and why he's performing like this?
Yeah, I mean, he was very good against Inter Milan, and everybody was very happy. I didn't think he was that bad on Saturday. It's just I think if one of your fullbacks is struggling, and especially if you don't have Joe Gomez next to him, and he came off after, as we said, 20 minutes, it becomes more difficult for Konate. Minte was, I thought, outstanding, and that's why Liverpool like him so much, and why he's right on the short list in case Salah goes, and they would sign a right winger if Salah goes anyway.
Federico Chiesa sitting here saying, "What about me? I'm here too."
And he came on. To be fair, he came on and did well, I thought, and was very kind to Salah to give him that ball at the end that he blasted over the bar. But yeah, I think it's a question of maybe not so much individual between Konate and Van Dijk and Kirkes and Robertson and whoever's right back. Is that just as a whole, as a back 5, even with Alisson, they just all struggling.
A word on Brighton. I thought this would be the year that they would consolidate. But I don't get that sense. I get the sense that this is still a team where you don't quite know what you're going to get week to week. And I get a sense that some big players over the course of the season, certainly Baleba is the obvious one, have kind of gone backwards, even as others have come in. Like Gruda's done well, better than I thought he would. Is this just the nature of the club?
I think it's the nature of Hutzler. I was at the Everton game where they were all over them, should have won 4-1, and then ended up losing that game. I don't know even how. They clearly lack efficiency in the 2 boxes, which is, I think, obviously a problem. But they play some really good football at times, and I think Hutzler want them to be super attacking. The problem is, then your defense is a bit struggling. You've got 2 super attacking fullbacks. That leaves Van Hecker, who I think is outstanding, and then Lewis Dunk, who's our age almost, as centre backs, which I think it would be difficult for anybody. And I'm not sure about the balance of that team. But on Saturday, you can play that game again, and they win 3-2, and there's no debate, and it's a great win for them. The problem is they didn't win because they didn't score their chances. I mean, Gomez has 2 huge chances to score, and that changes the game. So I feel a little bit for Hutzler because I think there's a lot of really good things that team does, but also it's probably a little bit too attacking for them, the result that they're going to have. But they're going to finish top 10, I think.
I wonder with the centre backs, because it seems slightly... I can see their point that they set pieces, Premier League, so you want sort of bigger, more athletic centre backs, even though Dunk is older. But equally, the way they play and with the way the fullbacks play, a lot of times it feels like those guys are stuck in space
Yeah,
and have to
yeah.
defend wide areas, which when you're the size of Lewis Dunk, it's not always an easy thing to do.
Nah, sure.
You know, I almost wonder if we could arrange a swap, Van Hecke for, no, not Kubarsi, obviously, but a Kubarsi type.
Yeah.
If that wouldn't be a better blend, you know, that kind of more mobile. Because because the way they play, like so often they're caught in those areas.
Yeah, they're exposed a bit. Yeah, for sure.